All right. The officers that are here in the courtroom, gentlemen, would you stand, and the two gentlemen in the back of the courtroom, can you hear me okay? Unidentified officer, yes, ma'am. Okay, and the officers with the Allen County Sheriff's Department, would you all, please, raise your right hands to take an oath? Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties for perjury that you will not communicate in any form or fashion to anyone the contents of this ex parte hearing, so help you God?
Bailiff sworn.
Thank you. And, gentlemen, do you all understand you may not speak to anyone, including each other, about this hearing or the information divulged in this hearing? Violations of your oath and this order to be silent is punishable as contempt of court with up to 365 days in jail and a fine of $1,000. I just say that so that you understand the importance of keeping the information that you hear in this courtroom here today to yourselves, and I trust that you will follow the oath. Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Baldwin, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. These are very rare, so I don't want to I'm happy to produce witnesses, but I also wanted to see how much short circuit we can do, if any. Basically, this is not any surprise to anybody. At this stage of the game, we're really desperate for an investigator. That's the main thing that we're asking for. I have witnesses that can testify about how much work they put in as on a volunteer basis, so that...
Okay. You may proceed.
Okay. Matt Hoffman.
Witness sworn.
Go ahead.
Thank you. State your name for the record.
Matthew Hoffman.
And spell it. Spell your last name for the record.
Hoffman.
All right. I'm just gonna kind of lead you here, since it's quasi-informal, but basically you volunteered to help out on this case. Is that correct?
Yes.
You're a retired, give the judge just some brief background.
I'm a retired firefighter. I've been in the public safety realm for about 35 years. I currently work as a contractor with the state of Indiana, part of Homeland Security, and Indiana National Guard.
Now, at the time that you offered your services, and we've known each other for a long time, you were between a job and a job that was gonna be starting in the future. In that little window?
Yeah, in between two contracts. One ended and the other one had yet to start up.
So tell the judge a little bit about what I have asked you to do or what Brad and I have asked you to do and what you've been doing.
Yep. So we get tips and leads from the general public, and they ask me if I would do my best to follow up on those leads and tips and interview the people who were providing information, either phoned in, emailed in, texted in.
We've had some mail come in too, as well, packages?
Yes.
How many different people roughly would you say have phoned in, email, texted, or sent in packages?
My estimate would be that we're getting close to 100 at least.
And out of that, how many have you returned phone calls to or communicated in some way?
15.
All right. And kind of go through the process with the judge so she understands.
So what I do is we kind of break down of what we think the tip is going to be about based on the message that was left and how credible we think.
And what is the purpose of those phone calls?
So usually the people will give me their background on what they think they have that's interesting or that we would find interesting, and so they offer potential suspects, they offer potential pieces of evidence, things like that.
What, roughly, percentage of the 15 that you've actually talked to do you think are there? We don't ever need to talk to that person again versus we need to follow it up.
Of the 15 that I've completed to this point, I would say we probably should be taking seriously and following up with at least half of those, if not more.
And can you give an idea to the judge of what follow-up means to you with those people? What would that kind of look like?
Anything that what it would look like in terms of we've contacted them again, either in person or telephone conversations.
Can you think of a particular one that's of interest? One of the people that have contacted us that you think, This is really, really important that we follow up. Can you think of one in your brain right now?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to tell the judge what would you expect, beyond just talking to them, that follow-up is gonna entail in terms of legwork?
This particular person that I had one of the longer conversations with, that was the one that was almost 2 hours. They live in Missouri, and...
Okay. And that's what I wanted to get to. I mean...
Yes.
It sounds kind of crazy, we're getting some crazies out there that are calling.
Yep.
But this is one example, just one, that caused you, okay, this is not.
Yes.
This is worth investigating?
Yes.
How many hours of volunteer time do you think you were putting in per week or per day?
When I was between contracts, I was probably putting upwards of 30 to 35 hours a week. Since my new contract WS picked up, it's been scaled back significantly to maybe about 5 hours a week, at best.
You're not an investigator, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And do you think that an investigator you would be able to communicate with an investigator to follow up on those leads?
Yes.
And also, we still have roughly 80 to 90, maybe even more, people that we've got to contact. Is that right?
Yes. And there are people who send in regular bits of information as they come across it, so.
Good point. The number of people versus the volume.
Yes.
Of information is inaudible.
The volume of information is more than the people, yes.
And we got a chance to follow up. If somebody sent in a multitude of pieces of information, have you had an opportunity to even follow up on this individual?
No, sir.
We do have a collated spread, not a spreadsheet, a piece, information where all of these people and their phone numbers and
yes.
Contacts are? That's part of the purpose, yes?
Yes.
All right. I have no other questions. The judge may have questions for you, though. What's your hourly rate?
I'm a volunteer.
Yeah, Judge, we're not expecting him to be a detective. The purpose of his testimony is really just to give you an understanding of what we're dealing with.
Okay.
In one area?
All right. Thank you, sir. You may step down.
Thank you.
Calls Sarah. She's super nervous.
Public speaking is why I'm not an attorney.
Witness sworn.
State your name for the record.
Sarah Easter.
Sarah's a couple different ways of spelling. H on there or no?
H at the end, yes.
ESDR?
Yes.
Okay. What do you do?
I am your paralegal.
Since we've gotten on this case, can you kind of give the judge an idea of additional work, if any, that you've had to perform?
A lot of the people that call into our offices with the tips and information, I speak with them and get a general idea of what it is that they want to share.
You had a lengthier one yesterday.
2 days ago, I was on the phone for about 30 to 40 minutes with someone just getting general information from them. And then I work on the spreadsheet that was discussed, entering everything in so that we can keep track of it, as well as any mail that comes in, emails that we receive. I catalog all of it and save it to our online, or our system of keeping files.
Is it fair to say that every single day we're getting emails?
Yes.
Multiple emails?
Yes.
Beyond that, we've got this first round of voluminous discovery. What's your kind of role with that?
I will be going through and cataloging it, naming it appropriately for our office so that we know what it is, and putting it in our system, just kind of cataloging it and sorting it so it's easy for you to, Andy, to access.
And I know it's impossible really to say how long that is going to take, but knowing that there's gonna be even way more than we already have, how many hours per week would you guess that just cataloging the evidence is gonna take?
On top of the other duties that I have with other cases, I would guess for this I'd be doing anywhere between 7 to 9 hours a week just working on getting that in our system.
Okay. But that's, at some point in time, that will end, but.
Yes, yeah.
And how many hours, even if it's an hour, would you say you're dealing with, per week, with?
With just the calls?
Calls and emails?
Probably 2 to 3 hours.
That's all the questions I have.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Easter. You did great.
Judge, one thing you may want to know is how much does it cost for an investigator? We've been talking with a couple. The range seems to be from $60 at the low end to roughly $75. There's kind of a small range of these.
Per hour?
Per hour.
60 to 75 an hour? Okay.
Per hour. I think the rest of what I'm going to be talking, or we're gonna be, is just argument. Well, I don't even know if it's argument, just telling you about kind of what we need. Is that okay?
Okay.
You know, I've been doing this almost 30 years. I'm in my 29th year. I've had some big cases with lots of evidence and lots of discovery that is manageable. Maybe IT wouldn't be manageable in another law firm, but ours is pretty well organized and I feel like we can handle a lot. We cannot handle this. Between me and Brad, it's every day. I mean, even his staff gets stuff that they send to us and then we put it into our spreadsheet. And I will say that there are, just like Mr. Hoffman said a second ago.
Like my hourly rate? I'm not sure.
She's paid a salary, so, I think $15 an hour. I think we pay more than that, but I don't. I'm very cognizant, I'm a taxpayer. I don't like people coming in and taking advantage of a big pot out there. That's not my style, I don't like it, but as a small business owner, it's something that could help us defray some of it. I think Brad probably feels the.
Judge?
Mr. Rossi.
If I could, I have a few comments. I mean, obviously, we're working and, Andy's office and my office are 70 miles apart, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on physically there other than what he's telling you, or I assume from some of the dealings here. But I've got 2 burdens on my staff to kind of characterize this. One of them is the need to have Max Baker around, who's sitting here, and Max has worked diligently on this venue issue. You can see I've got binders in front of me that are fully tabbed and ready to go today, which is fine. We didn't need them, but Max was responsible for a lot of the information that was included in the original request to move this case that you saw. And Max is gonna continue to be involved because I need him to be in another facet, and that is this. These truckloads of discovery come in, rather than me, at my hourly rate, clicking and pointing on every little link. I think it's a little bit more efficient to have Max, in some cases, go through some of those circumstances, and try to vet out what really matters and what doesn't, because, in fairness, I want to say we got an Excel spreadsheet from the state. Well, I'll tell you, when they delivered the original packet of discovery to me, when we picked it up here, Nick, it was all on a thumb drive, the first.
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint, thank you. They've got PowerPoint. PowerPoint's made of these suspects. And so some of it is just us kind of doing similar work that they were doing. But just to give you some idea of the scope of this stuff. And look, when I took this case on, I knew that this was coming. I certainly didn't understand the scope of it until I get in the middle of it, but I'm not sitting here suggesting that I had no idea that Sarah and my office was gonna be burdened by it, but I'm just sharing with you the reality of lawyers who want to work in this field and also need to continue to maintain a practice. That's what we're dealing with. And so I'm just sharing that with the court as an officer of the court.
One last thing, Judge, Matt Hoffman has been doing, really, I appreciate so much how he's helped, and if we could continue to use his help on a part-time basis, but I wouldn't want him to continue on without pay, so I would also ask the court to consider, as part of it, like $15 in.
And I've been working with Max too, Inaudible, and so he and I have been working together remotely. But he's been part of assisting me in some of the early goings, and I think that's gonna continue.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Having done a couple of death penalty cases, several life without parole cases, I'm, unfortunately, quite familiar with the needs that you have, and I have no problem approving funds. I think I told you this earlier, I'm gonna meet with a member of county council to find out what the funds availability are. I don't have a problem with reimbursing Mr. Hoffman and giving you money for that, paying for your paralegals, paying for a private investigator. I have no problem with any of that. I'll issue an order detailing my comments to you about, what is Max's last name?
Baker, BKR.
I've got Sarah Luxembourg.
Yes. LUXCNBRG.
N or M?
Yen.
N as in Nancy?
Yes.
Okay. I've got Ms. Easter's name. Easter, common.
Right. We've got a couple of, I've talked to B-Rad and.
Okay.
He's in charge of that part of it.
So we've talked about an investigator, your paralegal, Ms. Easter, Mr. Baker, Ms. Luxembourg, your paralegal, and some additional money for Mr. Hoffman, if he continues, as well. Okay. I guess my thought would be, I know in your motion you asked to be able to just submit those directly to the auditor. I'll speak with the auditor and find out what her thoughts, her or his, I don't know who it is, what the IR thoughts are. Leslie Owen is my financial coordinator, very familiar with processing invoices, very familiar with dealing with.
Did you say Owen?
Owen, Leslie Owen. Ross now, I'm sorry, now it's Leslie Ross, our OSS, she's the financial coordinator for Allen Superior Court. I'll probably have you submit your invoices directly to her so that she can make sure that they're in proper form and get them to the auditor. That way when I was appointed special judge, I know that the process here in Carroll Circuit Court is a little bit different than what I'm familiar with. The court staff has been handling a lot of that, handles all of that for the court.
Karen Allen.
Yeah. Which is probably not appropriate in this.
And I appreciate that. I actually hadn't thought about that. I talked to Karen a month ago about the mechanics of all this.
Yeah.
And she was very helpful, but...
Yes.
So do you have contact information for Ms. Ross like an email or something?
I will get that to you, yes. I will get contact information. She's here someplace, I think she's waiting.
So I think that if I'm not mistaken, what you're saying is just any of the financials that arise from this case, we just push them to her.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Okay. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
So even our own, we have not billed yet as attorneys, so we should submit to Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Judge,
Yes?
I do have a question about that. On the billing statements, I know that these will be scrutinized, I'm preparing for that. That's not normal. When I get into these cases, typically I'm working with the PD's office in Lafayette. We send the bill over and, generally, it gets paid and that's it. But, obviously, the detail and what you put into your statements, does speak to what you're doing from a work product standpoint.
Yes.
And so I've always tried to toe the line between, enough but not too much kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I just want the court to be conscious of that's kind of. Those are the things that I'm thinking about when I'm submitting these.
And if you need more detail, cause a lot of mine might be just reviewed discovery, if you need reviewed discovery related to a certain topic. Or something, happy to do that too.
Okay.
So just, of course, you know that you can do that. I'm not trying to tell you that you can. Feel free to yell at us or whatever.
I don't yell.
Need detail or whatever.
I don't yell.
Need more detail.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, lady.
Thank you.
Okay. Jody, you can go off the record. This concludes the proceedings had at the ex parte hearing.